Here we have the Lemon Lime Maranta, one of the prettiest Maranta that there are, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of really pretty Maranta. This care video is going to serve for the Lemon Lime Maranta, but also the Red Maranta, which has the same leaf structure. Everything is the exact same about it as far as care goes, with the exception of the color, So that's the only difference. But let's get into the care instructions for this really cool plant. This is a trailing plant, so it will grow downwards. However, it is an epiphyte. So if you want it to go upwards, it will totally climb upwards as well. You can stake it with a trellis or a moss pole, some bamboo sticks, whatever you have laying around, and it will climb upwards and be perfectly happy that way. For light, this is a bright light plant, all the way down to maybe a medium light. They do prefer a nice wide view of the sky. However, if you have a really hot window, say a south-facing window or a west-facing window, it's going to be best to back it off the glass a little bit, as it can scorch their leaves, still maintaining a nice wide view of the sky, but avoiding that really hot afternoon sun. If you don't know what I mean by a nice wide view of the sky, or if you haven't seen any of our watering or our lighting videos, I definitely recommend checking those out so that it all makes sense to you. Lighting is the most important aspect of houseplant care, so we really try to drive home the importance of that, and we make tons of videos and do a whole bunch of lessons to try to help people understand that a little bit better. As far as watering goes, we let this plant dry out 25% between waterings, and that's going to be year-round. So when about a quarter of the soil is dry, we give this plant a full soak. Okay, so we're trying to get every bit of soil in the pot wet. Of course, letting the excess moisture drain out the bottom drainage holes here. If you go too long in between waterings, the plant will wilt quite heavily. It will droop. It will not be rigid. You can see how they're quite springy right here. If the leaves are too dehydrated, if you've gone too long in between waterings, they will be limp. And when you pick them up like this, they'll just drop. They won't bounce back, like it is right there. We like to repot these plants about every 2 years, or when the roots start coming out of those bottom drainage holes. And we just go up 1 to 2 pot sizes. For example, this is a 6-inch pot. We would go up to a 7 or an 8-inch pot at most. For soil, they do like to retain quite a bit of moisture. I'll often use like 3 parts houseplant soil to 1 part something that's going to drain really well. Pumice, perlite, cactus soil, orchid bark, those are all good options to add a little bit of drainage to your moisture retentive houseplant soil. For fertilizers, these guys will do really well with fertilizers throughout the growing season. Their growing season is spring through summer months. And we just use a liquid soluble or a granule fertilizer. Any general purpose houseplant fertilizer will be perfectly fine for these, or even a well-balanced fertilizer, a 10-10-10 or a 15-15-15, 20-20-20 is actually fine as well. Like I said, they do respond really, really well to fertilizer. So feel free during that growing season while the plant is actively growing to give this guy a nice good shot in the arm with the old fertilizer. That's going to do it for the care instructions for the Lemon Lime Maranta. If you already care for this plant, let me know in the comments below. I want to know how you do it, or you can ask any questions that you might have, and I'll do my best to answer them.